Hello there, Leo. This is Joy with Joy to the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. And if you'd like to find out anytime I post new videos, ring that bell right next to that subscribe button. Also, if you find that you enjoy these videos, give it a big thumbs up for me and share with your friends or family. Now, Leo, there's some cards already out face up letting me know that it's time to let go. Your new journey is calling you to follow the sun, which is fantastic, being that you're Leo, right? That is your natural inhabitant of who you are, this sunny, this radiance, this light, this enlightenment, this yearning to go. And you're telling me, get cozy. Get ready. This is a new phase for you. This is something that you're stepping into, and it says, look skyward. All things return to the sun, and you are part of those all things, right? And now we had a Rado Journey come in. These are some runic cards that I made. It says communication, reunion, also perfect union, remove resistance and let go of the past. Now that would make sense because some confirmation cards jumped out, and these are my key cards right here. And it says number 21, opulence, it's time to lead. Number 30, serendipity, merge with the flow. Number 28, sacrifice, what can you let go of? And it's saying let go of your need to control. That's the lead that you have here, surrendering to the flow, initiating the flow by surrendering. It's like the moment that you put your hands up and you say, okay, I surrender. I return. I'm returning to who I am. I return to my radiance, my beauty, my lightness, my comfort with who I am, being at peace with how I'm made, that all things begin to go and flow well. That's kind of like turning the faucet on, and it allows you to be carried forward into this new journey. That aligns with these cards over here. We have the crib, the handshake, and the lion, right? Which is you. You see what we've got going on here. So it's letting us know that it's time to act, and that act is about returning to who you are, about being in your true character, being aligned with who you are. And we're going to find out kind of how that looks because you asked for an oracle reading. As I had all my cards out and I was, praying and deciding which ones we were going to use, they just came shooting out. And so you're like, decision is made, Joy. Take heed of this message. Go with the flow, which makes sense. My part of fortune is in Leo, so it is a very big part of who I am and how I live in this world. So we're going to take a deep dive into what's going on, and we'll start at the top in the beginning, number 41, the rainbow. So this has to do with the energy of your planets. I want you to know that the planets are to our benefit, not to be stirred up or disturbed by any, sayings that you hear is, oh, retrograde is going to be hard. It's going to work like this. Things are going to go like that. Squares are difficult. Oh, your planets, your charts tells you this is against you. That's for you. You should go like this. You should go like that. They're telling you to just, it's not just to get cozy on this card. You see all this, the unfurling, like what is unnecessary, leave it in the shadows, leave it in the dark, let it disperse out into the unknown, and to leave you and to go out from your form of thinking and your way of navigating life and who you are. Because as we see a rainbow, it's a promise, it's a merging of energies. It's when light and water come together and they hit at a certain angle. No two people see the same rainbow because it requires perspective in order to see it. And since you can't stand fully in my skin, in my footprint, and in my body at the same time that I am, we each see our own rainbow. We each see our own promise. And that's how unique and how individual you are. And that's how you're supposed to color it creative here. All right, so that's juicy. Let's see how you plan on getting creative, Leo. So down beneath it, we have number 25, the holy mountain. You plan on doing that by going inward, by going to your highest height of, okay, so I hear going to your greatest strength. That really is the action that this lion is calling for here. Going to get that outlook, that perspective, and in that place. For some of you, it literally is meditation or yoga, of doing that place that starts at the one, is what you're saying, in order to see the all. Kind of like in the rainbow, where white light, it breaks into the rays, and that's when it becomes the rainbow. Otherwise, you harness it and bring it all together, and it is one beam of white light. Well, you're saying, let's get back to that beam, that white light, that purity, that clear thinking, that thing that we are comfortable with, that's who we are, that's most you, most us. That's being out the forefront. That's being a leader. That's being a guide. But in order to lead and guide you yourself, the back of this card is showing me you have to be guided. You have to know who you are and to be in alignment with your true north is what you're telling me. Okay, so your true north, you might want to take a look at what your IC is in your natal birth chart. The IC sits opposite of the MC, the midheaven, and that's where you'll find, you're telling me, a greater alignment and position with who you are. You might also look at the sign opposite Leo, which I believe is Aquarius, but look directly across the chart, and that's what it is, to get a little bit of a balance, a little bit of a, you're telling me a polarization, but usually polarization is to create stark contrast, but in this case you're using it to create harmony, to create that edge, that definition, that line of knowingness. All right, to help be a sharper image. All right, that's a good idea. So going on next, traveling on from the rainbow, we have number 47, the smoky mirror. And this is being able to look into that reflection, look into your deeper self and see how you go about living it. How does it move about? How do you take you're saying your potential and activate it, bring it into the actual, how do you transfer that state? And we're going to find out looking down beneath it, because that's all this card is disclosing. Some of it is definitely from hindsight, I can tell you that. Combing and going back through is a little bit of wisdom for you, and without judgment. That's just awareness. Can you see? That's just witness. That's just awareness. And going back through and combing through to regain any clarity, because just like the polarizing right, the sign that's opposite of you, there's also the gaining of the clarity going on that brings you that comfort and that, you're saying, renewal. All right. And we can find that in the death, in the planet of Pluto, in those things that have gone to the wayside, maybe that you forgot about for a time and that you left alone, or unfinished projects or things like that. So don't step back in it with judgment and be like, oh, you never finished this. No, be like, oh, goody, looky here. Like my younger son, he used to tell me, I'm like, oh, I forgot my keys. He was little. He's like, no, you didn't. You just remembered them. So, when you come back across an unfinished project or something that you left behind, or maybe it wasn't the time of success for that, when you come back across it, think, oh, goody, another chance. Here we go again. So speak in that way that's affirmative. We can't even say positive because, well, it's not wanting to. Let's just be simple. But speak in the affirmative of like being with good sight, you're telling me, with good energy when you come upon it, to reactivate it with juicy deliciousness. So underneath the smoky mirror, we have number 46. That's interesting, because that is what is down beneath the serpent. You're telling me, like, serve it up. Be decisive, be strategic in the way you move about these things. Noticing that life has a purpose in every nook and cranny, in every twist and turn. That's what you said. That's what engages the listener. That's what tells a good story. That's what draws people in. Okay, now you're going ding, 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 ding. You're ringing your bell, Leo. You're really good at drawing people in with your creative storytelling, with your craftsmanship, with the way you see things, your golden radiance, that mind. I mean, look at it here. See, this is all about the mind, right? Let's piggyback it with these other cards that we already had come out. Look at all that solar energy, all that radiance and illumination of how you see things really helps draw people into it. Like, there are people that may not watch nature for anything, but they'll ask me, hey, Joy, what'd you see out on your walk? Can you tell me what you saw? It's almost like they'll watch my human nature, but I go out and I see nature and share that perspective with them, and that's what intrigues them and draws them in about you. All right, and that's the underside, the belly, the shadow side of the work that they may not know, but it's all in your perspective. Yeah, look at that. Look at this all coming together. It is all in your perspective that makes it enticing and intriguing, that makes it mesmerizing and majestic and mystical and winsome. Okay, Now, next to the smoky mirror, we have number 8, the circle. And I hear it pounding. It's beating like almost like this is a heart at the very center. You are the heartbeat of life, the pulse of life, and it brings people together. That goes back to this bit of the leadership card that we have going on over here. Part of that golden crown, your sunniness, your sunny demeanor, your upbeat, new day, new way. Kind of like the Muppets theme song, moving right along, do, 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 do. And it's kind of going with a spring in your step and a gleam in your eye. That can set the right tone, and it's contagious, is what you're telling me. It's contagious in that it's the spark that changes our world. It's like the wildfire of the heart that brings about this refreshing of life for others, that you are a refreshing spirit. So thank you, Leo. Thank you for bringing your vibrance to our world, your sunny disposition, your bubbliness, your hopefulness, your radiance, your glow, your passion, for sure. And we're coming up on the season of Leo, so get ready, be prepared. But here we're shedding the past. This is a good time to do it because it's a closing out of a full cycle for you, right? A full year. And to be able to just start dismissing those things that are all remnants, baubles, broken things, stuff that has been used up, worn out, that type of thing. Don't just pass it on. Get rid of it, okay? If you can't recycle or repurpose, then let that sucker go. But also with attitudes, behaviors, things that maybe didn't serve you as well as you thought. Some of you, it's certain friendships or communities that you've drawn towards that you find that if you're not being uplifted and, that energy is being drained from you in those areas, that's things you need to leave behind, because this of what you're stepping into and surrendering to, the flow that you're going with, this serendipity, this merging that you're stepping into, is more of your likeness, who you are. And it will free up room for you to make new acquaintances, make new, you're saying membership. That's interesting. But it's like the high priestess club. And you don't have to be a female to be a high priestess. It's the high priestess or the high priest. The high priest is the hierophant. But either way, here it's that the balancing of the mind energies of knowing what you're going for is what you're telling me. So underneath that circle, that new tribe, that heartbeat, that thump, thump, boom, boom, that really gets you going with other sunny, radiant people who are also not competitive. And I don't mean not competitive, but they don't have to put another down in order to lift themselves up. That type of competition. The backstabber, the elbow jabber, that whole, we blowing that out and canceling it right now, because this is the oneness. You can see it. Everybody focus on the love, the power of love, and the importance of all people, right? And how we interact in those circles that we have of friendship, of family, of community and communion, like-mindedness. And that doesn't mean thinking the same thoughts. It could be theater, or it could be people who love to watch NASCAR together. You see that common link, that common thread. Now, underneath the circle, we have 24, the heart of the sky, and she says a swoon. And this isn't a looking back, is literally a swoon, like, oh, you're speaking my heart language here. That stirs up all my stars, my nebula, my Milky Way. It's like it's reviving your passionate dreams, your desire to pursue, which would make sense as a lion, like wanting to pursue your prey, your kill. And that doesn't mean other people or quarry. That means the things that feed your soul, right? But in this state, they're also telling you, remember, surrender to that flow. Let the spirit draw you along this path. Flow with that. Flow with the lead of your guides and your spirit as to what this new thing is, because it's obvious it's new. We've got crib here, okay? And that's bringing forth, it says new enterprise, child, money, that type of thing. But it's what, in my mind, makes you rich. What makes you tick. What makes you go boom, boom, right? Okay. So, and that's a conjoining energy. This is spiritual help. This is that divine leadership stepping in to show you the way into what this new enterprise is, what these new circles of friends and community and like-minded passion, that type of thing that you're stepping into. Now, out beside it, hop skipping along, we have number 13, the crow. Crow says, listen to what I have to say. And not I like me. The crow is saying, listen to what I have to say. And this is bringing in that lunar balance, that lunar energy. And it's what is being heard in the nighttime. It's like I hear Stevie Nicks, the night birds singing, come away, come away. Okay. And it's the spirit of the night wanting you to come away to join in, to make sure you rest and refresh, because during that time, you're telling me, is when your mindset downloads and processes. It's when your body begins to assimilate all the bits and pieces of wisdom and information, and not just files them away, but sorts them and relegates them to like-minded circles, so that you get a better idea, a better target, a better bullseye of what's going on. The information can layer up, and you're telling me feather out. How interesting. So that you'll be able to take flight, that you'll be able to run in it, and you'll be able to flow and follow, because you'll be aware of what it is. It won't be something muck-mired and muddied up in the mind, because you don't take time for that downloading and that transfer and translation to occur. Translation specifically. Okay, so under the caw-caw of the crow, translate that right into the 33, the magic. Ah, okay. I thought I would get by one reading without having to do the dip and dive, but there we go. Straight up. Okay, so here we have the magic. Soft, sweet energy. It's like the power of a child. When you sleep and you refresh, the way things move through, just like children, they're made by their parents, right, to go to bed and get a lot of sleep. That's why they're so resilient and they grow so well. And it's not just how many hours of sleep you get, it's when you go to bed. Go to bed in the earlier hours, and they're saying, watch this magic grow. Watch it happen. And you see how this is it's lunar and solar in a sense. That's why it's translucence, it's iridescence, it's opalescence. It's okay. High vibration is clearly what you're letting me know here. It is it's like the high E on a violin. It's the highest note. It's all the way up on the piano. The one, like, you're like, why is that key even there? That note. It goes bing, 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 bing. But I'm telling you, this is an angelic energy here as well, just as this one. And it's saying that's because you'll be able to contact me. You know how when you have to get certain things done, especially like when something's gone awry or maybe defunct, and you have to call in to a 800 number or whatever, and you're put in that queue, you're put on hold, and you're wanting to talk to somebody who can help you, right? Help you achieve and accomplish what it is you set out to know, to move through, to process, to get in better shape and form so that it works for you. Whatever it is, that completion, that outcome that you're wanting, you're like, man, if you could know who that specific person is, you'd want to dial their digits, right? Tap in their extension. Well, she's saying here, I'm number 33, extension number 33, creativity meets creativity. And they're telling me creativity occurs in the rest, that assimilation, that divine magic that happens without us. We're not in charge of it. Just like when we sleep, our heart still beats and our brain still works, right? Our blood is pulsing and moving and the organs are still kept working. But our body goes to that lowest level so that we can restore and to move about. But we don't do any of that. But there's also magic in this mindset of what's going on that we have lived and breathed and been a part of all day, consciously, subconsciously, and they're telling me, of course, unconsciously. That unconscious and subconscious, they get relegated and processed through as we sleep, and that's when that magic is done. That's when we dial up her digits, and the next day we step out with this renewed verve and vigor and this lift and this breath and this, you're telling me, I mean, look at that. Speed racer going on here, full charge, being able to follow your instincts. You're saying like a homing pigeon. There is a thing in our brain called magnetite, and those who have higher concentrations of it do have a better sense of direction, and it gives you the direction that you need. So she's encouraging you to do this for yourself, because you'll think that you're missing out on a lot of things, but you're actually missing out on temporary things, and this gives you the longevity, and it gets you what you're really going for. If any of you have ever seen Toy Story, it's the first one where they were in the moving van, right? And Buzz and Woody are talking to each other, and Buzz is like, hold on. And he's going to take them, and they're soaring through the air. They're falling with style, right? And Woody's, oh, no. They're coming along and they're falling with style. And Woody's like, wait, there's the moving van. And Buzz says, that's not what I was aiming for. And boom, they plop and they land in the van right next to Andy, their boy, right? And so, sorry I muddled it, but you get where I'm going with that. They're saying we know right where to land you. We weren't aiming for that. We're going beyond. We're going for what you really desire, what you really dream, and what you're here for. Not just your purpose, but your meaning also, your fulfillment and satisfaction. And you're saying, and your crowning glory. All right, we'll step on into that, Leo. So here we're going to wrap up with these two cards to cap off the end. Number 36, House of Flowers. Look at your abundance. Good old-fashioned abundance, rich, bountiful fragrance. It is inundating, and you're saying intoxicating. Matter of fact, you're saying you turned yourself on. You said you're so fine like wine. You turned yourself on, and you're enjoying yourself fully. And that is the radiance that you were meaning to come about and act upon. That new birth here. You were renewed like that child. Remember the magic down here. And that is the thing that becomes contagious. It's telling me it doubles up your power, which would make sense because remember, she's the 3-3. Doubles up that power of your creativity, of your charisma, of your grace and your ease. Beautiful. Like a layer cake. You got all sorts of goodness. You know, that frosting up in the center to marry it all together. And then next to magic, we have number 4, Moon Dance. She says, take it easy on me. Saying it's super easy for you. And the thing is when you get this restoration, when you allow nature to do its part, life to take its course, that eases up on her. It eases up on the magic and the using of the will and the knitting of the mind and the overheating of the brain and the cells and all that. It keeps your health magnificent. It keeps your wealth magnificent. It keeps you from unnecessary expenditure of your juice, of your eunice. And you have, I love it, the moon by a string, the world by a string, meaning you're in control of your mind. And with it, you float high above the world, and there are no worries, not about anything. Look at how she's dancing along the wire. So easy, high above the worries and the cares of the world, that it gives you that edge. That edge, because children don't worry. All that to find out the message. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Let go and let love flow, Leo. Let who you are, your radiance, your shimmer, your shine, your beauty, and let that moon, that lunar side, let it really recharge. Let it become that delicious extra layer of cake, right? Make it fantastic, just like you do. I've enjoyed this time together. Thank you for this walk through the oracles with you of returning to our divine self. This is Joy saying bye for now, Leo.